Everyone, everywhere, welcome back to another video, man. Make sure you like and subscribe, share the video out, all of the good stuff. As you see here, we got Diablo 4. If you don't know, I have been playing Diablo 4, and I mean, it's clear and evident that I have been playing based on this character right here. I am level 51, so I feel like I got a good little insight in at least the leveling process for the Druid there. And I just want to go over a very nice build that carried me all the way up to this point, and I feel can definitely push me past to the mid game and all that, and then I'll even try to in the end game too. Okay, but without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it. Now, a lot of people didn't tell me about like aspects and stuff like that, and like I had to find out the hard way that aspects are definitely required to make a lot of builds work. And that's why this build right here, I'm actually going to show y'all that does not require any aspects whatsoever at all if you want to have it for the early, leveling in game and whatnot. But as you get further and further, especially for mid game, if you have the aspects, it works so beautifully well together, and it's just destruction incarnate. I don't know what else to really call it, okay? But let's go hop into it. Now, when you are leveling up, you pretty much, the name of the game is going to be spec enough till you can get your next skill. Then once you have your next skill, then you can go back and like enhance whatever skills you already have. Okay, so with that being said, like your first one, you get Storm Strike. Okay, it's one of the best ones. You get 25% damage reduction, which is good for survivability. It changes to the enemies. It's decent. It doesn't really do a lot of damage, but it's decent nonetheless. You really want a 25% damage reduction, and for the potential that you get up here. But your first one, hey, Storm Strike. Second one, you get enhanced Storm Strike, okay? You immobilize stuff, which is very good for what we're gonna have here coming up. Alright, then once you get the two, you unlock this node right here, your core skills. You will get Landslide then. Okay, Landslide is gonna be your bread and butter. This is essentially gonna be the skill that you're going to constantly spam out time and time and time again. All you wanna do is spec one of that. Let's say you're now able to get an additional one, because I forget how many it is to get this one. Like each one kind of shows you like how many it get. I think it's like 60 here, then it's like 14, you know what I mean? Like it goes more and more and more. But essentially, once you spec your two, come to Landslide, then spec your third one up here for Fierce Storm Strike, so you can put vulnerable on it. 50% chance, absolutely incredible. You're in pretty much doing vulnerable. It's almost a guarantee, dang near with that 50% chance right there. And then after you get that 50% chance, then you're gonna come over here to enhance Landslide. Then you're gonna get Primal Landslide. Okay, by that point you should at least have Earth and this node over here for your defense skills. You get one Earth and Bulwark here, and then pretty much keep it pushing for the time being. Once you have your next set of skill points, pretty much get one Blood Howl, then enhanced Blood Howl, and then innate Blood Howl. You really want to get it for the 20 spirit that you'll get back from it. It does heal you too. It's pretty much like a fourth of your life. It's very good, very, very good. Okay. Overall, just survivability. Okay, if you run out of potions or you're trying to hold on to your like health potions, whatnot, this skill right here, the Blood Howl, is all around. Especially when you enhance it on up with the innate Blood Howl, you just get your, it's all around. It reminds me of a soda cola from DC Universe. Okay, essentially what it is for you on your hotbar there. Then after that, because you will need to come over here, we will get Poison Creeper for the early in game. Well, early game until we can actually come over here and get our ultimate skill. So yeah, just to let y'all know, okay? But essentially you'll start specking out Landslide fully to as much as you need to. You can come over here and get the crit chances if you are struggling with getting not a lot of crits. Mind you, this is against close range enemies, so you have to keep that in mind there. Then what I like to do is, instead of getting the crit chance like first, I would actually like to come over here, spec one into Heart of the Wild, increase your maximum sprint. That's okay, but we really want to get it for abundance. Your basic skills, which is this one right here, the Storm Whip, regenerates, I believe it's 6, 12, and 18 more percent more spirit. And that's our mana, that's our power, okay? When you pair this with a Storm Strike that already generates 14, is one of the higher ones, as you can see. There's 11, Maul is 15, but that's 13. Maul just got a buff. But this was the highest one. That was one. It's still one of the best ones because you can apply vulnerable and immobilize, okay? And you essentially want to definitely get that immobilized, because if you come over here for that primal landslide like we talked about, go ahead and getting. When you immobilize or stun an enemy, you gain a terror mode. Each enemy hit by landslide consumes a terror mode, causing a guaranteed critical strike with 40% critical strike damage. That's also one of the reasons why I don't necessarily need the critical strike chance right here, and I more want to hurry up and get more spirit generation so I can use the Storm Strike more, then in turn use the landslide more. You see how it kind of already has synergy right there just in these first 2 node points along with your basic and core skill. Now you definitely want Earthen Bulwark for just pure survivability. Get yourself fortified, get yourself a nice shield. You know, you got your Howl for your your mana, well, your spirit in this case, and your health. And then let's say you are able to spec, let's go ahead and get Poison Creeper. This will once again immobilize enemies, going back into the landslide with the terror modes that we can get here, and doing a fantastic job for us. Now, something that you can do is definitely increase that mobilization duration by 1 second, and then I like to either get the Brutal Poison Creeper just for all around play, or you can get this one right here, which increases the poison duration for 3 seconds. Now you definitely want to get this poison duration for 3 seconds in the more mid-game kind of build, and I say that because yes, you could definitely use Petrify, but there is an alternative one where you just use Poison Creeper and then you spec out like over here to get poison enemies take 10%. I think it gets like you can kind of max it up to like 60% or something like that, or 80% critical strike damage. So you can definitely do a lot more damage with Poison Creeper right here if you're trying to focus on that. But the build I want to definitely showcase has Petrify in it, because you want to get more spirit generation back from killing enemies, because you're gonna have more than enough damage behind what you're doing currently, so you don't really have to worry about cranking up to that high degree. That's more like late in game when you have your Paragon tree filled out and you're able to get your spirit cost up and whatnot. If you're not having spirit cost problems, which even I do occasionally, okay, when I was like leveling up and whatnot. But you definitely want to come over here now, since you have, you know, had enough into your companion skills. Now you definitely should have your race skills unlocked, and with the race skills you want to get Trample. Trample is going to be a fantastic ability. One, you become unstoppable, so if you're like crowd controlled by whatever, if you got Trample up, use it. Okay, it works off cooldown and not spirit, so it's an ability that hits pretty hard. Comparable, as you see, is what, 1500 right there, 1500 to 1, and our landslide does 1613. So it is comparable to landslide. Mind you, landslide is one of the hardest hitting abilities that a druid can do just outright. So that's why we're going to use this with no uniques, no aspects, whatnot. And I can show you some aspects that you will want to look forward to for the build that can make this go crazy. Okay. And then even if you hit them with that 1500, you can get an additional 900 damage and stun them, which is going back into the stun for the terror motes right here, which will enhance our landslide. So you see how everything has synergy and it kind of ties back to landslide. That's what we're really going for right here. With this, you have a chance to do it essentially. Okay, especially if you do it close to an enemy, like you kind of like right here. I hit Buddy right here, and I use the Trample and I hit him into the wall. More than likely, that's going to cause it right there. So definitely keep that in mind. After that, you want to get the Trample that does 150 bonus damage, which is fantastic. Now, mind you, it is reduced by 50%, but that's still 100% damage. Okay, that's double essentially for all the other enemies after the first hit. Okay, so definitely keep that in mind. And then you want to get the casting trample grants 20% base life as fortify. Fortify is going to be something that pretty much allows you to get 10% damage reduction, and it's going to help us out to stay alive, be tanky, be in everyone's face. If you have the aspects I have with this build for the more mid game, you can literally face tank everything. I was literally just sitting in front of bosses, did not care about what was going on, what mechanics they got. I was popping my earthen bulwark, okay, and I was just hitting trample and whatnot, and it was fantastic all the way around. Now that reminds me, especially as you are getting higher levels, we already spec one into earthen bulwark, but you want to definitely get the enhanced earthen bulwark here for the unstoppable, just so you're not getting crowd control, you're not getting thrown around, tossed around, and sometimes it can actually lead to you being dead because you're in crowd control state, you're not able to do anything, not able to dodge out the way, etc. Especially in early game. Everyone knows, like with the Druid, sometimes you can struggle early game. That's why this build right here, it made me not struggle whatsoever at all. I was able to solo a lot of stuff, be okay. I even had a friend, he was a rogue and he was a Druid before. He was like even saying like, oh, when I was a Druid and when I was on my rogue, I died to this boss and that boss and this boss over there, that boss there, and I was being a-okay. You know what I mean? Like, this build is that good. Okay, survivability and damage, incredible. And as you get later and later in the end game, you definitely get preserving earthen bulwark right here just to fortify you a bit more when you cast earthen bulwark. Okay, that's 18%. And you're definitely on, since you're pairing that up with 20%, that is now 38%. Okay, now that definitely matters when you get these nodes over here. We're going to talk about them in a sec. Now, next thing you want to do is get Petrify for your ultimate, and then you want to spec it out to get Prime Petrify, which increases duration by 1 second, and then Supreme Petrify, which killing an enemy affected by Petrify grants 25 spirit. Now, this is going to be our bread and butter, especially when we're dealing with a lot of enemies in the area, or even a boss, because as you see right here, what does Petrify do? You encase everybody, you pretty much stun everyone, okay? So, once again, we're stunning, going back to the whole landslide, okay, thing. This is fantastic if you already have a full spirit thing. So you hit Storm Strike a whole bunch of times till you get a full bar of your spirit. Then hit Petrify, everything's gonna be stunned, and then you can just landslide it all, okay? You get 25 spirit back, so you're gonna keep just being able to hit landslide, especially because landslide, as you see right here, costs 33 spirit, so it's not the full amount, but since you have a full bar anyways, you're gonna be able to pretty much eat that cost that you are doing, killing all the enemies with. And since they are stunned, you're gonna crit and do increase crit damage to all these petrified enemies, which is fantastic. Mind you, get the Trample buff from landslide, and you can also pair it with the buff you see from here, Petrified, 30% increase critical strike damage for just general enemies, and then if you're hitting a boss, that's 50% and even lasts longer. So this is going to be absolutely fantastic. Hit super hard, be able to melt down elites, melt down all enemies in the area, melt down bosses when need be, etc. Okay, it's fantastic. Okay, and then now when you are finally able to come down here to your key passives, we're going to want to get Nature's Fury. Now, Nature's Fury gives us 30% chance to pretty much all of our skills, like our Petrify, our Trample, our Earthen Bulwark, our Landslide, and even our Storm Whip have 30% chance to hit their counterpart. So if you're hitting a Storm skill like Storm Whip here, you have 30% chance to also hit a Earth Spike free of cost that will just trigger automatically in the background for you. It's fantastic. That's 245 damage. Absolutely insane. That you just pair on top of what this 300 damage, that's 545 damage right there. Plus you're doing immobilized, plus you're doing vulnerable. And vulnerable itself is already 20% damage increase. Immobilized is kind of like a stun. And then if you're hitting landslide, you're able to over here hit tornadoes for free and or lightning storm for free. You know what I mean? Like, especially when we're spamming this out so much, This absolutely going to be insane in Lightning Strike Tornado for the free. If you have Earth and Bulwark, you can get Cyclone Armor for free. You know what I mean? It just continues. And Trample, there's aspect that actually makes Trample Earth, as you see here. Normally it's not Earth, but since I have Trample as Earth skill, now I get Hurricane, which does even more damage than Trample for free. And then if I hit Petrify, I can get Cataclysm for free. This thing right here is absolutely insane. Nature's Fury. It triggers, though it says 30%, it triggers all the time. You don't have to worry about it being like a wasted passive or anything like that. Now, I was using Earth and Might, and I kind of made this video before with Earth and Might, just because, hey, it's Earth and Might, you get guaranteed crits and all this other stuff. But because of Landslide, and we're just spamming out Landslide anyways, you really don't need it. And with Nature's Fury, it just allows you to burn everything that much faster. You are doing absolutely insane. The Earth Landslide is not the best for AoE, but it does like a nice like cone AoE that it comes together on instead of doing like 360 around you. But this paired with Petrify and paired with everything else like tornadoes, lightning storm, etc., it just absolutely does incredible. You don't have to worry about AoE. You're doing fantastic on single target. You're doing everything. You crowd controlling people, etc. Now, I do want to touch base on the Poison Creeper again. Now, if you are doing Poison Creeper, let's say you forgo Petrify, you don't want the extra spirit cost generation. You want to take this build more into like mid and late game, like the end game kind of deal. Then you definitely can use Poison Creeper again, and you would actually come over here and spec out the Envenom. You have to put one into Neurotoxin, which will slow the enemies. And then you'll pretty much enhance it with the critical strike damage there. Now, I personally don't necessarily see the point, because I'll be struggling on spirit cost sometimes, and this is just fantastic. It allows you to just melt everything down. And for all the extra damage increase that you're gonna come over here and get like Defiance, spec that out fully, 12% increased damage to your nature magic skills that you do to elites. Now, nature magic, as you see, Petrify is nature magic. Trample, nature magic. Even when we do stuff like the Nature's Fury stuff for Hurricane, nature magic. The companion's not, so that's why you can take that out. You use Petrify anyways. What is this? Cyclone Armor is nature magic. Landslide is nature magic. Storm Whoop, nature magic. Earth Spike, nature magic. If you use Lightning Storm or even Tornado, nature magic. Everything is nature magic. So this is just now you hit elites, which are like little mini bosses, 12% harder. Natural Disaster, you hit 12% harder on your Storm and Earth skills to vulnerable enemies. Now, mind you, we are already making pretty much everything vulnerable with Fear Storm Strike right here, and Storm Strike already changed the enemy, and the lightning that chains to them can also make them immobilized and vulnerable. It has a chance for that as well. So we're fantastic there. A lot of stuff's gonna be on the field already vulnerable. Pretty much majority of everything is. So us doing 20% more damage just to everything with our boss, normal ad and elite, etc. Fantastic. Now also, nature magic is increased by 6% from the resonance here. And this triples if the skill is used, if like Earth skill is used, then the next skill is a Storm, or Storm skill is used, the next skill is Earth. Now keep in mind, one of our only Storm skills that we're actually using is Storm Strike, and we got to use it anyways to generate the spirit up. Now with that being said, when you get our spirit up, mind you, we already got enhanced up with the basic abundance skill bonus here. And then we're using Landslide, which is Earth skill, where we're taking full advantage of that damage increase here, which is that's going to be 18% additional damage, plus a 12, plus an additional 12 if you're doing it to an elite. Absolutely insane and incredible. Okay, now we also want to come over here back where our Trample is at, and not only spec it out fully, okay, if you haven't already, but definitely get Crushing Earth, which Earth skills do 15% more damage to slow an enemy stunned and mobilized or knocked back. Now we knock back with Trample, and we can stun them. Okay, Petrify stuns them. Where is it at? Storm Whip immobilizes and makes them vulnerable. So we're just gonna almost everything we do is gonna make this happen. So 15% extra damage, absolutely incredible. Then if we are fortified past 50% of our maximum health, our earth skills, which is pretty much everything we use for our storm strike, deals 12% increased damage on top of everything else. So you see, we're just increasing damage left and right here. We're doing absolutely insane. Something you also get is quick shift. Now, quick shift, as you see, it says your shape shifting skills that transform you into a different form. It deals 15% increased damage. Now, Trample is a shape-shifting skill that turns to a werebear. So this is going to do even more damage, okay? Now, you pair this with aspects and whatnot. Mind you, it's not required for it, especially the leveling in the early game, all the way up to like level 50, I would say. But it definitely helps, okay? That's all I'm going to say is it helps. Especially later and later throughout the story and whatnot. I'm going to show y'all some aspects that I paired them up with. Do absolutely fantastic with it. Now, let me actually come over here because there's actually a couple more aspects that you can definitely pair this with that help tremendously. Now, one thing you can pair this with is something like this aspect right here. Actually, on this legendary amulet, it says you heal for 13 life per second for each close enemies, all the way up to 114 life per second. This is fantastic. I didn't need any potion whatsoever at all. Mind you, a lot of bosses spawn enemies, so even in boss fights, I was a-okay. If something hit me real hard, like a lot of the people with like big giant swords and whatnot do, because there's so many ads around me, I'm chilling. I'm gonna get all that health right back real fast. Okay, don't have to worry about it whatsoever at all. That's absolutely fantastic one to pair it with. Now, mind you, on your head, your chest, your legs, and your feet, or your pants and your feet, are the ones that have more defense enabled skills. Now, what does that mean? Like how the one I showed you for that neck is a defense enabled skill. Now, neck and jewelry and whatnot, they can have defense as well. Offense is gloves, weapons, and then jewelry. Okay, so definitely keep that in mind. Now, certain stuff like the amulets section normally gets like 50 or 100% bonus to whatever thing that you're doing. Sometimes a two-handed skill, sometimes one-handed skill. It depends on what you have. You can give extra bonuses on top of that. Like how it says right here, two-handed gets 100% bonus, the amulet gets 50. So stuff like that is definitely good to pair with and keep in mind. But nonetheless, you can throw these in as you get them, as they come. Your build's already good. This is just going to take it over the top and put it in that in-game kind of caliber. Now this right here, the healthy bubble, pretty much whenever you get hit with something real hard that's going to like almost take you out, you put up this big white bubble that goes around you. Everyone that's in it, whether yourself, you got teammates, whatever, you're all immune to damage. So you cannot die while in this bubble. It lasts 4 seconds. Put on your amulet is about 6 seconds, but it's a-okay. Most of the time you're not going to die anyways because the amount of fortify we have, the amount of abilities we got going off, you're going to be okay regardless, okay? This is just like a very like safety net. Think of like Page of Destiny off of DC, the artifacts, like safety net like that, or even Biocat with electricity off of DC Universal Line. It's more like that. Safety net, you're going to be a-okay. Now, on my chest, I have, when you have fortify, your earth skills gain two ranks. Now, ranks are like how you see here with the Trample. I have 7 out of 5 ranks. This thing is not active yet, so that's going to be 9 out of 5. Each rank allows you to do more and more damage, and it pretty much enhances the ability altogether. You know, Earth and Bull is going to be able to have even more, 50%, you know, or it's really going to be hard. I think it's like 55%. Barrier amount, landslide is going to hit harder, etc. Okay, it's just all around good thing to have since we have all these earth-based skills. Now, on my gloves, I have attack enemies with a basic skill, which is going to be our Storm Whip. We got to spam that anyway to get our spirit up. Increases the damage of your next core skill by 8% all the way up to 30. So you can pretty much spam like constantly hit. Here's what, 5-6 hits. You're going to be up to 30%. You a-okay in the USA, you feel me? So this is going to make our landslide that already hits hard. We're already buffing our landslide like crazy. This is going to make it hit even harder. Okay, especially When you use, this is gonna play into that one passive that we got down here, where a storm skill and then the next skill is an earth skill. We can triple that bonus, which is gonna be 18%. We're gonna do even more damage with it because this stacks with it. Fantastic aspect right here to use. Now for the pants, I have pretty much the earthen bulwark. You increase duration all the way up to 6 seconds, and then whenever you kill an enemy, you replenish your barrier, your earthen bulwark's barrier, by 72. Now this definitely varies depending on what level you have it at and when you get it to drop. But something else you can also pair with it that's fantastic, that's just going to be all around, no matter if you use earth bulwark or not, to keep you, still safe when you are not having earth bulwark up. It's going to be this right here. You gain 0.45, so like 0.5% of increased armor for 4 seconds when you do any form of damage. Stacks up to 45% of our armor. That's gonna be absolutely insane. Armor is how you stay alive in this game. There's pretty much damage resistance, pretty much like think of Destiny and the armor, stuff like that. Absolutely insane. So I would personally replace that out with it. What I'm going to do here for a different iteration of the build, I'm put with pulverize. That's it for a little thing I'm trying out here. Now I got on the boots the aspect of when Nature's Fury key passive triggers a free skill, your non-ultimate cooldowns of the opposing type are reduced by 7 seconds. Now this definitely varies, has a range. I think it was like 6 to 12 or 6 to 14, something like that seconds, right? Very, very good thing. Since our pretty much, like it said, non-ultimate, so you're not gonna reduce the cooldown of Petrify here, but Trample. Trample is something you're gonna reduce like crazy, and Earthen Bulwark something you reduce like crazy. So you can pretty much spam out Earthen Bulwark and Trample. It's gonna do absolutely insane because we already have that Nature's Fury passive paired it with the boots. Whenever we do get a hurricane off, you reduce the cooldown of Earthen Bulwark. Whenever you get like a Cyclone Armor, you can reduce the cooldown Trample. And let's say you have both of them up and you already use both of them. You use Landslide and you get like Lightning Storm or Tornado, or you use Storm Strike and you get a Earth Spike. You get pretty much your Trample straight back. It says 7 seconds, mind you. It takes like 2 seconds to like finish out the duration of the cast. Sometimes even 3, depending on how far you're going with Trample. Same thing with Earthen Bulwark. Like it takes like a second to use. So hey, there's that like built-in second there. And then right after, you get like 7 seconds off. Mind you, that can proc again and again. So you can just pretty much get these abilities right back every single last time. It's absolutely insane, absolutely incredible. Definitely want to get this aspect right here, especially for that mid game. It's going to make everything so much easier. Face tank everything, be a-okay. Okay. Now on the weapon, I have a unique one here. Trample now summons 6 landslide pillars. Now mind you, these landslide pillars are all going to be enhanced for what we already been doing to landslide. Okay, when we rank it up, when we give all these extra bonuses to it, we have everything affecting it and coming over. Oh, if I didn't say with wild impulses, make sure your core skill, which is landslide, costs more spirit by 9%, but it deals 15% increased damage. So it's absolutely crazy, and that's gonna be offset by the abundance bonus right here. So it don't matter. That's pretty much 15% increased damage essentially for us. I don't know if I went over that, but just in case, so I don't have to re-record the video. But Trample, when we use Trample, it now makes it a Earth Magic and or Nature Magic and Earth skill. So that's absolutely insane. On top of being the Werebear and shape-shifting one, but also it now summons 6 landslide pillars of Earth during its duration. So however far we run, it's gonna have pretty much a very wide area to protect everything behind us. Excuse the dog in the background. I can show y'all what that looks like right here. I gotta hurry and get out the city though to use the skills and whatnot. Alright, so what does that look like? So I'm using Trample here. Actually, how I got it. see all that stuff right there? That's absolutely insane. And I got a free tornado out of that. Now look, I'll use Earth and Bulwark. We can do Petrify. I'm supposed to get some spirit up before I use Petrify. Let's all do it. But look at that. We're just one-shotting everything. Storm Strike, tornadoes going off. I got the bubble just in case if I ever go down that I'm immune to everything with. Whoa. Everything is over here trying to get me. I guess I can show y'all a little bit of gameplay with it. Look at all this, man. Stun it all. Trample it all. No, we're not even trying to put that up and do bloody owl. Oh, well, now this poison, that is something that extra I want to deal with. Let's look how we should take it. Ooh. Look, that's why you gotta hurry to get that. Hurry the wolves back. And, but we all good nonetheless. And you kind of see like we doing good. And normally I never get that low like that. I'm more, you know, not really focusing on whatnot, trying to use all the different abilities. Not really using them like back to back like I'm supposed to. So definitely keep in mind, I do apologize for that. That is kind of deceitful in a sense because I'm not really using it to a full extent. But I apologize nonetheless. Now on our totem, that's one thing we want to have. In terms of aspects, you don't want to use a two-handed because then you'll lose pretty much the ability to have an additional aspect. Okay, since you only have one weapon instead of two, like with a weapon and a totem. So on our totem, we have Earth skills do 34% more critical strike damage to crowd control enemies. Now we're going to crowd control everything with our Storm Whip that does vulnerable and immobilize. And we have even our landslide itself immobilizes. So it's kind of like pairs into itself there. We have, if using the poison creeper, that crowd controls with immobilize. This knocks back and stuns. You know what I mean? Like this stuns. Like everything pretty much does it. So we're gonna definitely take full advantage of that 34% increased critical strike damage. And since our landslide has a guaranteed crit when you have a terror mode, this does just even more stacks on with it. Now, I also have in the ring here, your core skill still up to 24% increase damage based on your amount of fortify. Now this is absolutely insane. You can get this on up, you know, more damage with a core skill. A core skill is going to be landslide. Keep that in mind. So we're enhance that landslide even further. With that being said, and fortify, we get fortify from Trample. We get fortify from our Earth and Bulwark. So we're going to be a-okay with that fortify. We're going to definitely get that on up. Now, this ring, I kind of don't like it per se, just because the amount of mobility with this build, you're not really standing still that much. But when you do stand still, like let's say you use Petrify, you're standing in one spot, it does absolutely insane. You're definitely getting that full 30% increased damage. So it's fully, you can take advantage of it. But this is definitely a free side that if you want to use something else, hey, by all means, go ahead and use it here. Especially since the rings can have pretty much everything. So it's definitely good to have a ring as a free slot. Excuse me, y'all. Did not mean to do that in y'all ears like that. But yeah, pretty much, you know, stand still. I don't really like it too much. I would replace it out personally, but I have been using it all the way up to this point, and I'm gonna replace it out with that pulverized one right here that does a shockwave forward. I'm definitely replacing it with that, so I can use pulverize and pulverize stun more enemies. The you know, feedback into the whole build and whatnot. Absolutely insane. And then on the neck, we do have this aspect that you deal 23% increased damage while you have a barrier active. Now we have a barrier active almost all the time thanks to Earth and Bulwark, and our boots right here with the passive that allows our, you know, the Nature Fury free skill reduce the cooldown of the opposite. So it's going to reduce the cooldown of our Earth and Bulwark like crazy. So absolutely insane. Definitely want to use it. You're going to increase everything's damage like crazy. Okay, this is all general damage, so we're going to be using a lot of damage with Trample and Landslide are pretty much our 2 damage hard hitting abilities. And we're really counting on Landslide to do majority of our damage. Trample just to do a little AoE in the mist. Absolutely insane. I definitely wanted to show y'all and bring this to y'all. Now in terms of spirit boons, you can take the damage reduction. That's cool, especially because a lot of stuff like the elites, sometimes they have the big giant sword and that can almost kill you. So taking 10% less damage from that is pretty good. I like to have the Avina's Wrath, or I don't know how to really say that. 30% more critical strike damage, absolutely insane. Now this one, you can have one of these boon rows. You can have 2 on. I like to have it on this 3rd one here, so I can get the lucky hit, which dealing damage has a 15% chance to restore 10 spirit, allowing our spirit economy to be a lot better. And I like to get the comedy. I don't really know how to say that. Extend the duration of your ultimate skills by 25%. This is going to extend the duration of Petrify just a little bit further. So it's absolutely going to be insane there, and definitely want to be able to utilize that, especially if you are like me and you don't always use Petrify before you have a full spirit bar like how I do now. So keep that in mind there, okay? You definitely want to use that, just quality of life there. And allow you to just keep killing everything very, very quickly, like bam, 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 bam. Absolutely insane. And then Comfort Storm, you get another lucky hit. Your nature and magic skills, which pretty much everything we have on the build, have a 10% chance to reduce the cooldown of your ultimate skill by 2 seconds. So pretty much everything we do is going to reduce the cooldown of Petrify. Okay, now mind you, this does not apply if you're using the Poison Creeper version of this. I wouldn't even use a Poison Creeper version of this personally, just because Petrify allows us to get the spirit up, allows us to keep everything going. You're going to get it back like crazy because of the passives you have here with the bonuses. Like, look at it, everything's just good. I'm just going to put it like, everything's fantastic. Everything's really, really good. This build is absolutely insane. I ended up getting upset because I tried like that little storm wolf thing and I didn't have enough aspects for that. I tried the pulverized build, didn't have all the aspects for that. I literally just got the shockwave one now, and like everything just pretty much was real bad. It was just it was horrible. And now that I finally have this build back and was able to re-roll stuff and get everything back to how I wanted it to be, absolutely insane. A lot of my gear is not optimized too. If you really take a look at it, a lot of these like percentages, like Poison Creeper, lightning resistance, I don't need lightning resistance. Like a lightning resistance here too, storm skill damage, like that's not helpful to me. Maybe a little bit for the nature fury thing that I have, but like, come on now, I can use the other things. Blood Howl, like if you want to use the pulverized version, I'm gonna make here in a little bit. When I take out Blood Howl and I put pulverized down, I don't need 2 ranks of Blood Howl. I'd rather have an Earth and Bulwark. You know what I mean? Landslide is good. You pretty much want your plus whatever ranks to the abilities. Like Landslide is going to be optimal. Trample for the legs, Landslide for the hands, Earth and Bulwark for the chest. If you're going to use Poison Creeper, then Poison Creeper in the head, like stuff like that. I don't think the boots can have any plus to any ranks. I've never seen them, but that just could be my luck. I mean, hey, story of my life. But next thing you pretty much want to do, if you really look at it over here, you really want to get your willpower up to do more and more damage, especially overpower damage, which is a whole separate thing that I'm going to kind of tap into with the pulverized stuff, which you can do overpower technically with this stuff too, but you really want to get your willpower up for more just skill damage that you're going to get, and some healing receives also kind of nice. Intelligence will allow your resource regeneration, so spirit regeneration is going to help it out there. Strength, it's just armor. Dexterity is like crit chance, and dodge chance. Dodge chance is very good. But yeah, so what you want to be looking for essentially is more willpower for pretty much all this. Just hit very, very hard. Intelligence will also be pretty good too. For your weapon stuff, like core skill damage, critical strike damage, and damage to like an actual, like how it says damage to slow enemies, an actual effect that you actually do. So damage to vulnerable enemies, which is one of the highest multipliers in the game. So keep that in mind. You definitely have like vulnerable. So damage to vulnerable will be good. Damage to stunned enemies can be good. Damage to immobilized enemies can be good. Like those ones are very good. And even the basic skill damage is actually pretty good here too. So we are going to be spamming that basic skill to get our core skill up and running. Cooldown reduction, spirit cost reduction, something that you definitely want to have as well. Like the plus to all stats is pretty good. Yeah, those are really gonna be the main stuff you're gonna be looking for. Pretty much a lot of willpower, cooldown reduction, spirit cost reduction are gonna be like your big three. Well, your first and foremost is like plus, 1, 2, 3, or 4 ranks to whatever ability you're actually using. Next will be willpower, then spirit cost reduction, then cooldown reduction, then just like all general stats, etc. Okay. Then you can even get like, I think on like the chest you can get like armor and like plus so much armor and whatnot. So that's pretty good. The lucky hit stuff is actually pretty good as well. If you are able to get it, because it just enhances on the lucky hits that we kind of get with like the spirit boon and stuff like that, like here, like etc. Okay, a lucky hit chance being amped up is definitely a good thing to get nonetheless. But try the build out for yourself. Let me know how y'all like it. I tried a lot of those other people's builds and I was like baffled that they all like sucked at first. I did not realize how much all those builds required aspects to even remotely make it work. So then I had to take it upon myself, start reading, start doing research. How do I get and play this game so I can just exist and not just constantly do no damage and die? You know what I mean? Like, it was horrible at first, but hey, we're here now. We're good to go. Try to get the best gear you can. Try to get the aspects that you can, especially as you can later and later in the game. But if you don't have any aspects at all, you kind of saw the synergy that we already have with the skills themselves. Works phenomenal. Helps increase damage like crazy. Survivability is on point. We have everything just there. Absolutely insane. Go ahead, try it out for yourself. Let me know in the comment section down below how you like it. Any critiques you have for me and things of that nature. And I don't think that's any. I think that's it. Without further ado, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, peace and shalom. I should have more videos coming up here very, very soon. I still have DC videos in the works, testing stuff out over there as well. Giveaway on DC 4th of July. And yeah, and I will be having a joint channel with my brother here, even playing Diablo and having like a different perspective and whatnot, culturally speaking, on that channel very, very soon. And I'll probably link it in the pinned comment of this video whenever I get that channel and videos up and running. So keep out on the lookout for that, okay? Without further ado, peace and shalom.